Well, wouldn't you know it? Two squirrels are engaged in a heated debate. The first squirrel, let's call him Nutty, is arguing about the perfect acorn size. Nutty insists, "Big acorns are the best. You get more bang for your buck." But the second squirrel, who we'll call Crunchy, disagrees. "Nah, small acorns are easier to carry, and they taste just as good." Do you think squirrels have these conversations? Well, they might if they were as nutty as us humans. Speaking of nutty humans, let's talk about Bob. Now, Bob is a man who loves his garden gnomes. And when I say love, I mean he has an army of over 100 of these little guys in his backyard. Bob's neighbor Alice once asked him, "Bob, why do you have so many garden gnomes?" And Bob, in all seriousness, replied, "Well, Alice, if the zombie apocalypse ever comes, I need a small army to defend my petunias." Then there's Sally. Sally is a woman who has a strange obsession with collecting rubber ducks. She has over 200 of them in all shapes, sizes and colors. Sally's friend once asked her, "Why rubber ducks, Sally?" Sally simply replied, "Well, if it ever floods, at least I'll have a fleet ready." Oh, and we can't forget about Tim. Tim is a guy who has an unusual hobby of collecting mismatched socks. He claims it's a fashion statement. Once his friend asked him, "Tim, why the mismatched socks?" And Tim, with a straight face, said, "Well, if I ever lose one, I won't have to worry. I've got a whole drawer full of replacements." And finally, we have Larry. Larry is a man with a peculiar habit of wearing sunglasses indoors. When asked why, Larry replied, "Well, if the sun ever decides to shine indoors, I'll be ready." So there you have it. A bunch of nutty humans doing nutty things. But hey, that's what makes us all unique, right? After all, as Nutty the squirrel would say, you get more bang for your buck when you're a bit nutty. And in the end, who are we to judge? Maybe Bob's gnomes will save his petunias, Sally's rubber ducks will come in handy during a flood, Tim's socks will make him a fashion icon, and Larry, well, Larry will be ready if the sun ever decides to shine indoors. And as for Nutty and Crunchy, well, they're still arguing about acorns. But hey, at least they're not arguing about pine cones. Now that would be truly nutty. And remember, it's always better to be a little nutty than completely sane. After all, as the saying goes, the world is full of nuts. The trick is not to become one.